Okay, it's time to make another gardening video because I've planted more things and I will totally lose track of what I did if I don't make a video. So I had a lot of extra tomatoes this year. I started way too many because I was using old seed and I thought they wouldn't come up very well. So I started a lot of seeds and lo and behold, they all came up. So I put most of them in grow pots or 5-gallon buckets. I put 2 in the garden, but there's so much blight here that they probably won't do as well. And then with the extras, I've just taken to planting them kind of willy-nilly around the property. So these are the 2 Plum Regal tomatoes, and I've stuck them in my flower patch. And it actually tends to be kind of shady over here, so I don't know that they will do all that well, but I figured it gives them a slightly better chance than just throwing them on the compost pile. So we will see how they do. Here's the hazelnut tree that I planted, I think in the spring of 2014. I had planted 2 of them, and one of them died. So this one doesn't have anything to pollinate it. And indeed, it is doing nothing. It's just a beautiful green bush. I'm really excited about my flower boxes. I haven't really planted flower boxes before this year because it can be expensive to get all the plants. And behind the flower box is a chamomile plant that was a gift for my birthday, and it's doing really well. I've been drinking tea made out of the flowers. Here are some sad Norway spruces that I really need to plant soon. Here's some things that I potted up in desperation. This has a sweet sunrise orange pepper plant in it, along with 1 Freckles lettuce plant and 1, I think, Italian basil. It might be Genovese basil. And then next to it is the other kind of basil. I forget which went where. Here's a gifted mint plant, a gifted rosemary plant, and another trio with a different lettuce. I'm not sure which lettuce. And then here is I think it's pronounced Principe. It's a tomato plant that I just potted up maybe 2 days ago. So maybe like June 29th was when it got potted up. It's supposed to do tomatoes that are good for sun-dried tomatoes. And I also potted this green zebra on that same day. And then today is July 1st. I had given myself a cutoff date of July 1st to be done with planting things. And this is an indigo rose. It is not in good shape. It's been in a tiny pot for way too long. We'll see if it recovers. What do you think, Casey? Do you want tomatoes? So this is one of my rear flower boxes, and the lemon verbena that I bought went in first. The leaves are really tasty. I haven't even experimented with making a tea out of them yet because they're just tasty to eat straight up. And then this is one of the Italian leaf basils. And then one of the calabricoas and more Italian leaf basils. Over here I have a Mountain Princess tomato, which has blossoms on it, which is exciting. It's supposed to be one of the earliest. Here's the other Mountain Princess, also has blossoms. And then this is a green zebra that I planted maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it is clearly happier than the one that just got transplanted. Here are my sad onions that I have not gotten in the garden yet. That is another Principe and a grape tomato that have not found a home yet. Some sad coleus. And then in this other flower box, I put one of the last sad broccolis, which just got transplanted like 2 days ago. So again, June 29th for that. That is volunteer cilantro that is already trying to bolt. It's kind of early in the year for it to bolt. This is, I think, sheep sorrel, edible, lemony, so I don't always weed it. More basil. And then right along here, I just planted the lime basil. We'll see if it comes up. Just an experiment. See what happens. And then there's a flower. That stuff is lamb's quarters. Also edible. More volunteer cilantro and 2 more basil plants. So here are the Romanesco broccoli that are straight in the garden. I think there's 4 of them right here. They're doing okay. They're not doing amazing, but they look fairly happy. And right now they're covered in diatomaceous earth because I've been picking snails off of them twice a day for a while now. And then right next to it is a flame star cauliflower. And again, more snail damage. And then this tomatillo that I bought, it just said tomatillo on it, so I don't know what kind or anything. But again, this one is not nearly as happy as the other one, which I will show you in a little bit. Here's some greens that I grew but didn't label. I think it's the arugula. And here's the Hilton cabbages, which have just been absolutely destroyed by snails. We'll see if they recover at all. They look good in the middle. But wow, I think that flame star cauliflower is just toast, maybe. Here is the anise hyssop, which volunteers to come back every year. I got it from my brother. And there's volunteer daisies as well, which I did not weed out. I like having a few flowers in the garden. Here's some bok choy that I got as starts, and one of them is bolting already. And again, there's more snail damage, and they haven't grown a whole lot. So I think in some ways I might have been better off just buying bok choy. And then behind them are I think the Cascadia peas, and they are just starting to get flowers on them, which is exciting. I'm wondering if I'm going to get peas or not. The next few days are going to be in the 80s. Peas like it cool. We'll see if they do anything. Then on the other side are the onions that I did get in, but I got them in pretty late. And I put some manure on them a few days ago before it rained, and we will see how it goes, but I really kind of missed onion season altogether. Those are 2 more Romanesco broccolis back there. In here is a very sad basil plant. It's done not much of anything. Let's see, I don't think they're starting quite yet. And then this is the vernissage, the black vernissage tomato that were the free seeds from Baker Creek. And then there's 1, 2, 3 little cosmos that have come up, so hopefully they will keep growing. There's more of the sad broccoli. I think it's the DeChico broccoli, volunteer mustard plant. And coming back this way, the green finger cucumbers certainly germinated well. They are up. The snails have not destroyed them yet. Another volunteer mustard. And then these right here are the Boston pickling cucumbers. Another sad flame star cauliflower. These are the Valentine's Day mixed radishes that are just about done. I've harvested more than half of them. more sad basil. And then the mustard on this end of the garden is flowering, and there's pollinators coming and using it, so I've just been letting it go, but I will take it out soon. And then down in here we have 1.5 precious Armenian cucumber starts. We are hoping those continue to avoid slug damage as well. And then the taller spinach is the Bloomsdale spinach that I planted on May 12th. And it is bolting. It's July 1st and it is bolting. It had really just gotten to where it was ready. I think I've eaten 4 bites of spinach twice. And then down in there is the Shelby spinach that I planted, I think, 2 weeks later. And then here is the happiest cucumber thingy of all. I don't know for sure that it's a cucumber, but I think I had a green pickling cucumber here last year, although to be honest, the leaves look a little bit different. So maybe it's something else that is volunteering. It's happy, it's healthy, we're gonna let it go. So down on this end of the garden, 2 nasturtiums came up, and then I planted some zinnias in here, but either I weeded them by accident or I don't think they came up, unfortunately. And then that is the Matt's Wild Cherry tomato. Both of these tomato plants are really pretty small compared to the other ones. They got planted on the same day here in the garden versus in the pool bed gardens and the grow pots. This sage is just so happy. The hummingbirds have been coming and visiting this sage plant while I'm standing by the peas. They just get so close to me. It's really amazing. And the flowers are so pretty. And then next to the sage is my very exciting chocolate mint plant, which is not in a pot, so we'll see how crazy it goes. And then I'm trying to grow a little bit of tatsoi right next to it, but again, slug damage. We'll see how it does. Here's the thyme plant that I bought. These are the broccoli that I put in earlier, and again, they are just regular DeChico broccoli. And some onions that I planted a little bit later than the other ones, but not terribly later. And then more recently I put in this row of broccoli because I had to find somewhere to stick things. So that is that for the actual in the ground garden. Well, I guess you could say it's kind of a raised bed since it is stone. And then here's what I'm calling the rock garden, with the 2 pool beds, some grow pots, some 5-gallon buckets. The soil here is just really heavy clay, and even though I brought in manure for the actual garden bed, I have to add manure pretty much continuously, and it's just a really heavy soil. So this is just moo dirt. I bought so many bags of moo dirt this year. And the tomatoes seem to like it better, and hopefully they'll have less blight since they're not in the ground. So I think this one is the other black vernissage. It's much bigger and much happier, and it has blossoms on it. It's doing really well. And then there's another mountain princess next to it, which also has blossoms. And then the third one is the green zebra. No blossoms yet, but it's looking pretty good, I think. It's looking pretty healthy. And then behind it is one of the tomatoes that I did not start. This one is the Cherokee purple tomato start that came from Kate's farm. It was in a greenhouse. It is clearly very much ahead of the others, and it has a little baby tomato on it. Not only that, it has a second baby tomato on it. So that is exciting. It wins the prize for being earliest to form a tomato. And then in this first pool bed, we are right next to our little frog friends. Maybe the other ones are underwater. But there's another one. Hi guys. Frog magic right next to the garden. So these are the Romanesco broccoli that I did in the pool bed. I planted them the exact same day. They're enormous in comparison. They're almost double the size. And there is Romanesco broccoli forming in there already. And I think the same on this one I looked earlier. And also this tomatillo plant is a whole lot taller and happier and just bigger overall, more robust. And here are the onions, the 8 onions that I think they're my Cipollini onions that I managed to actually plant early in the year at a reasonable point in time. And they are actually doing their thing. They are so happy. There's a little bit of Shelby spinach in here. It took forever to germinate in this soil. I don't know why. Oh, yes, and the tomatillas, lots of blossoms everywhere. I don't think there's any actual tomatillas forming yet. Maybe those are blossoms that haven't opened yet. Anyhow, there's peppers in here, the Hungarian hot wax peppers. They're doing okay. I started the peppers in the basement myself, and they didn't like how cold it was down there, and I think it might have just kept them a little bit smaller kind of permanently, but see, they're doing something. They're doing something. So here's some basil. It's doing okay. It's doing better. Some Freckles lettuce that took forever to germinate. I think that's everything in this bed. One more gratuitous frog shot. Hi guys. So here's the second pool bed garden, and as you can see, these cabbages are much healthier. I think growing things in the pool beds like this really protects them from a lot of pests, not just because it's on the rock, but also because there's the plastic barrier. So I don't know that there's quite an actual cabbage yet, but they are happy and healthy and on their way. And I think these are the King of the North peppers. No, I think maybe some of these are the apple peppers actually. Yes, I remember putting the apple peppers in here. And these cabbage leaves are so big, they're taking up more space than I budgeted. So there's some spinach kind of struggling down there. That poor basil plant was put in not in a great spot, unfortunately. That is one of the orange sunrise peppers. Again, that was grown in a greenhouse, so it is bigger. These are the King of the North peppers. They're doing pretty well, actually. I'm happy with their progress, even though they're not really making peppers yet. This is another Mountain Princess tomato. There's blossoms. This I am very excited about. This is my pineapple tomato. This is the other greenhouse start that I bought with the Cherokee Purple. There are blossoms. We'll see what happens. And then this is so funny. It's like a little half moon on the leaf. It's like an outhouse door. But again, those are just King of the North peppers. They seem happy enough out here. They're doing their thing, but not making peppers yet. The field just got mowed yesterday on June 30th. And it was definitely time. The grass was getting really tall. And normally I'd only mow it once a year so that the pollinators and, you know, the butterflies and the birds have habitat. But this year I want to put in fence, electric fence and fence posts and all that. So it got mowed. But you can still see the walking trail because it looks different than where it got mowed. So this is the peach tree. It's a Reliant peach tree or a Reliance peach tree. And look, there's actually peaches on it. I am convinced it might be happier this year than any other year, because this year it got to be somewhere a bit warmer in the spring before it came to us. But it's pretty exciting nonetheless. Am I crazy to put a garden this far away from the house? Yes. Yes, I am. I do a lot of walking. But the things that I put down here so far are potatoes. That's it. And hopefully the rototiller guy is coming soon. And once he has, I just wanted to put some other root crops down here, like turnips and beets, things that maybe don't take as much maintenance. I can just kind of mulch them and forget them. So here's the potato bed. I think I put potatoes in the ground just like a week ago. The bed was dug, maybe it was a little more than that. The bed got dug up maybe June 16th, and I think I planted June 19th or 20th, and it's July 1st, so I guess it's been about 10 days. This whole row is the German butterball, the storage potatoes. And they have come up really pretty consistently, the whole row. Here they are. And then I had one left over at the end of the row, so there it is, right there. We'll just get rid of that weed. And then on this side, I had one or two of a lot of different varieties. I split them up with friends. And then I wasn't sure I was even going to have garden space, so I really gave away quite a few of them. I think the very first ones I put in the ground were the Red Norlands. I put in 2 of them. Maybe this is one of them coming up. I'm not quite sure what is going on in here. Then I think there was one Elba, maybe, and then an Adirondack Red. And then after that, I think were the Nicolas. And then I got down to here and I had room. I didn't know what to do, so I dug out some of the blue potatoes that I had. And they had grown 3-foot long things out of them, trying to find dirt. They were so determined. And so I decided to put a few of them in this end, and we will see if they were too spent or if they still come up. They were just very, very determined. And I just always forget the name of them. They're not the Caribe, they're the other kind that I got. That is a blue variety. And then I got 10 potatoes back from a friend who wasn't able to plant them, so I put them in the middle, and they were really a mix of a lot of things. So we'll see if any of those come up as well. So I am hopeful that within the next few days, this will be turned into a rototilled area. This row is about 15 feet, and I'd like to continue it 20 feet down. So it'll be 15 by 20, and then do another 15 by 20 over here. And I think that is everything that I wanted to record for gardening. So thanks for watching.